when I hear somebody saying all cops are bastards, all cops are liars, ACAB, I think of woke leftists, right? I don't think of libertarians or people on the whatever it is, traditional conservatives or whatever Nick was at some point in people's eyes. When people say like ACAB, I don't think based, that's not what comes to my mind right away. But when I see things like this, which I wasn't even going to bring up, I actually wasn't going to cover this, but it's relevant here, which is one of Nick's speeding tickets, right? This is a ticket, actually, sorry, for weaving over lanes, expired registration, and no insurance. Let me show you guys this real quick. Now, it's Nick because his license plate number up here in the upper right, if you can't see it, is Law Pope. It's Law Pope. That's his vanity plate, right? And it's a 2022 Ford Mustang. He's been very vocal about this Mustang. He talked about it in a lot of places, right? And he got pulled over doing 95 and a 70. And he got charged with speeding, no insurance, expired registration, weaving. So, a couple things here. So he, when he stopped, he didn't roll down the window. He had expired insurance, displayed tags that had been, and he'd been stopped and warned for this many times. Now, in many states, to be clear, and I'm not a Minnesota criminal lawyer, I'm not a Minnesota traffic lawyer, it is actually okay to just put your ID up on the window and you don't actually have to pull it down. I'm actually not sure. People in the chat can tell me whether this is true or not. I'm actually not sure in Minnesota whether that is legal or not. I actually don't know. So I don't want to say he did something wrong for not rolling down the window. Maybe in Minnesota, the law allows you to just put your ID against the window. Maybe, right? Maybe. In some states, that's permissible. But the thing that really, to me, comes off as unnecessary and kind of shows this sort of, once again, this impotent rage is this right here. You are absolutely bullshit, lying. You see this right here in the last line? You are absolutely bullshit, lying off to the police officer. Is that necessary? Was that needed? Did that help him? Is that going to improve his stand? Is that going to improve his? Is that going to help him out in the community? Is that a good thing? Is that necessary to fight the man, to fight the police? Just be a dick. There's something for fighting back and doing it in a civilized manner and doing it in the proper channels and just being an asshole. Right? And it looks a lot more like a sovereign citizen when you're going to a traffic cop and just cursing them out each time. It doesn't look like somebody that's taking a thoughtful, measured, lawyerly approach to something. So let's continue here with a little bit of this argument. You guys are going to get a little bit more of the taste. Once again, I'm going to give you just a little bit of the taste of the sovereign citizen type argument here, but let's play another minute.
Well, none of that. But my public image, my public image? Well, you're probably a fat Canadian or maybe a skinny Canadian who can't fly to the right city.
Once again, I don't know whether those are jokes or ad hominems. I think he might be trying to make a PPP is fat joke, but once again, how does that help your liberty? But okay, so you said PPP is fat from the Keno Casino. Is that going to get your felony dropped, or how is that going to help your family, your liberty, or fighting the government? Right? By ad homineming PPP, is that going to help you? No, right? So once again, it doesn't change anything.
Or maybe you're a doughy Minnesotan. I don't know who you are. But I'm not here to apologize to you or for anything. I am under the thumb of government at the moment, which means government gets to say whatever they want about me, and I don't get to respond.
And let's be real. Let's be fair. Yeah, that's kind of tough. That's a tough position. We covered a lot on this channel. We covered a lot on Nick covered on his channel. It's a tough position, but that's the way the system is. It sucks. It's imperfect. Right? It's not great. They do get to say whatever they want to say for a certain period of time. That's how it is. It's how it is for everybody at this point. Until we have a radical systemic change in how we do things. Yes, there is a period of time where you can't say anything. It kind of sucks, right? But everybody deals with it. And if a normal client, a regular client that is advised by your everyday average criminal defense attorney, like when I would talk to Sean or Gosney or anybody else who's out there, and they would give this advice to anybody, say, yeah, just until trial, like maybe you shouldn't go on social media and talk about your case. I think that'd be advice to anybody, right? Once again, I know he feels like he needs an exemption from that, but he plays by the rules as everybody else. And once again, as much as you might feel it should be another way, as much as you might want a sovereign citizen your way out of that, that doesn't change the system or the facts. And it won't ever, right? Because you just simply feel that way in the moment. And only somebody who views himself as the center of the universe, right? And says, I am the law pope, right? I speak it and it is law, right? Only a person in that state of mind would believe that.
What's funny is a lot of my colleagues have talked a lot about it too. But the moment it happens, they all tuck their nuts up into their own assholes and become the biggest pack of fuck gabbling women I've ever seen. Running around, come out, apologize, bow down, bow.
Yeah, and this is the part where he said colleagues, like plural, right? So like, who said that? Somebody said lead attorney said it. Okay, it's one person. But what other colleagues said you should grovel and beg and apologize? Nobody said that. Now, one thing we did say, and let me be very clear about this. Some of us did say this. Pay very close attention. Nick should be quiet. He should get a plea deal. I talked about an Alford plea. Now, I believe the Alford plea is off the table. There's no way. Here's why. Sean pointed this out and other people have pointed this out. The state has to agree to an Alford plea. They have to say, you know what? Based on all this, on the facts, we're going to agree with this. There's no way after you attacked a state witness and you come out with this range of attack, they're going to allow an Alford plea? No way, buddy. It ain't happening. That's off the table. You ain't getting it. There's no way he's getting an Alford plea now. It's rare. It's already rare. But when you're on social media doing this, no. And that would have been the best outcome for him. And what we said is, if you were to get a plea deal after you plea, let me say this very clearly, after you plea, after, not before, after, right? Then after you can come out and say you're sorry or you apologize, change for whatever you feel the need to do to apologize for, to come out and talk about and acknowledge, right? After, not now. Nobody said he should come out of the gate and apologize. Accusation from government is not a conviction. However, the stances you take and the positions you put out there and the attacks you may levy can and will be used against you, including at all parts of the trial and at sentencing, right? So when he comes out and says, I don't know what I should feel sorry for, I don't feel sorry for nothing, I didn't do nothing wrong, right? That can be used against him in the future. And if he didn't talk about it, well, it couldn't be used against him. Right? Real quick before I get to this next clip, Angela says, Nick wasn't really what I enjoy in a presenter. However, I figured he could be good for teaching others. So I'd recommend him to more right-leaning families and friends I have. Disappointing. Yeah, and that was classic OG Nick. OG Nick was a great explainer of many different legal topics, like back in the day. But there was definitely a change in Nick over time. Is there anything that to read into Nick hired a divorce attorney to represent him in the family placement hearing? To be fair, this is prior to him hiring Mr. White, who is a family criminal lawyer. I do not know about that. I wouldn't read too much into it. There might not be. To me, what he ends up doing is he says one thing, but then directly proceeds to do the other, right? So saying, I'm not here to fight people. Well, we're gonna literally watch this clip on how he is directly fighting people. In fact, he's fighting one person very specifically, calls them out by name. This is not another social media personality, by the way. This is not a public figure. This is a private individual. I mean, yes, they're a member of the government, but they're not out there on social media. They're not someone like me or like Sean or somebody else that's out there on the internet. And look, I understand that because I'm out there, because I'm a public figure, people are going to say things about me. So I have a different, standard that I hold people to when they're just coming out and coming at me versus when you're a private individual.
Cooperate by, say, asking them to come into your home. They will lie under oath to the judge. That's right, Alicia Sweep.
Okay. So he's looking in the camera and he says a government employee's name. Now, in case you don't know, and it's out there, you can find it, it's public record. But Alicia Sweep is the name of the individual who's handling his CPS case, because there's the criminal case and there's the Child Protective Services case. So she is at Health and Human Services or Family Services. So Alicia Sweep is a government employee. And yes, it is a little bit funny that her name is Sweep and the chief of police is named Jim Felt. Yes, it's a little bit funny. Get it out of your system, get it out of there. But the more serious part here, to be serious, he is now looking in the camera and mentioning a government employee. I'm gonna let him finish here, but let's rewind it just to show what he's accusing her of, and really the prosecution, the judge, the county, right? Let's listen one more time. What is she being accused of?
By asking them to come into your home. They will lie under oath to the judge. That's right, Alicia Sweep. So he's making a statement that Alicia Sweep lied under oath to the judge. That's perjury, right? Now, some people have asked me the question, is this defamation? Well, if it's true, it wouldn't be defamation. So if Nick does prove it's not defamation, but also there are exceptions to defamation. Given that this is a criminal case, it's highly unlikely that he would get in trouble for this. In fact, you are allowed generally to say, hey, they lied. In fact, that's kind of the core to any criminal defense, is you're kind of one side is saying the other side is lying, right? So is this by itself defamation? No. Is it smart? Hell no. It's stupid as hell. Right? But is it defamation? No. Is it gonna necessarily in and of itself get him an extra criminal charge? No. Is it witness tampering? Not yet. Right now. Now, Nick needs to be very careful. Needs to tread lightly. Because Nick has almost 500,000 subs. And if Nick is perceived as in any way sending legions of Jannies, legions of sweepers, legions of his fans at this poor government official, and if there happened to be something that happened to her and it was enacted by one of Rekieta's followers, that probably wouldn't go very well for Nick, right? And naming her is really not great for that. Now, it's not smart. Is it proof that, it's witness tampering? No, not yet, right? But it's just, hey, well, you probably should be pretty careful about that. I mean, this is your case. It's not somebody else's case. They will lie under oath to the judge. They will fabricate a situation that did not occur. They will lie about your willingness to cooperate. They will lie about things that you said. They will generate statements said by other people out of nothing because I was there and that wasn't said.
And I assume for a lot of this, we will get the body cam footage and we will find out whether or not, for a lot of these statements, whether or not they're true or not. And, Nick is saying this wasn't said. And, we will find out whether that is true or whether that is false. So,
they will violate the rules of evidence. They will violate the rules of civil procedure. They will violate the rules of juvenile procedure. And disinterested judges and very terrible attorneys will let it all go. Because everyone grovels at the feet of government. But I don't.
So that's his big, once again, one of the big, hey, this is me fighting back against the government by going after this specific individual.